Hello, welcome to the Beginner's Collage course. Today is lesson 2, video 3. I'll have the playlist in the description box below so you can catch up on everything. This video is going to be about 5 techniques that you can use to achieve balance in your collages. Hi, I'm Jennifer. Thank you for stopping by today for the second lesson in the Beginner's Collage course. This one is all about 5 techniques that you can use to achieve balance in your compositions and layouts in collage. So this lesson is going to build off of last week's lesson, which was the importance of balance and composition. And so we're going to take that composition background that we created last week and we're going to build upon it this week. I'm going to show you some examples of how to use these 5 techniques and then how I use them through master boards, because that's the easier way for me to show you guys. And then at the end of this video, stay tuned because we'll come back and I'll discuss a comment that I received from one of the viewers and we'll just have a little discussion about it. So if you're ready to learn the 5 techniques, come join me at my desk. So here I have a double-sided, it's actually double-sided, a couple collages that I've recently made. And the first of the 5 techniques is visual weight. And visual weight is the perceived heaviness or lightness of an element in the composition. And this is going to influence how it attracts your eye. So, the pictures I used here, like this photo here, this black and white, I would consider this a visually heavy element. And I would consider these smaller ones, here and here, as smaller in visual weight or lighter in visual weight, and these are heavier in visual weight. So when I'm looking at the collage layout here, the first thing that my eye is drawn to is this photo. So that alone there tells me that I made this. My visual weight, the heaviness of it, attracted my eye straight to this. And then once I get here, I can use this visual weight in 3 ways to balance and establish a focal point. You can also use it to guide your eye. So if I'm using it as a focal point in this one, and then I used stamping in order to pull from my smaller images, my contrasting images, I use that to pull them all in to here and then pull out and into the next image. So that's why I put mine in the middle, but kind of off-centered it a little bit because I wanted it to guide the eye, like kind of coming from this way and then make it go diagonal that way. And then you come back down the page this way. So the second technique to achieve balance is contrast. Contrast is so fun. I love working with contrast. The background's contrasted. We have a lighter page here. That's a book page. And then we have a darker book page. And then to create even more contrasting, I did go into this with some inks, but we'll get to that when we go into like mixed media and stuff, which is going to be really soon. I can't wait to get there. And just changing up the backgrounds here with the lighter to the dark to the light, that is going to create a contrast. And here, last week's composition I did is a perfect example of using lighter pages and darker pages to create contrast in your background compositions. Excuse me. So contrast, all that is juxtaposing your elements, light and dark. It's large to small, warm to cool, rough and smooth. Anything that contradicts and contrasts itself, juxtaposes itself. Those are all words for just saying that it creates like a difference from the page. Like it doesn't blend in to your background. It's going to pop up off it. So I decided to use these 2 images from my cut and collage book I published. And they worked really beautifully with this paper, not only because of the tones and the backgrounds kind of match the paper colors, and I wanted to pick up on that. But also I liked the use of black, and I thought black would be a very good juxtaposition and contrast to the background, especially because I'm picking up the black in this photo as well. And this photo also, since it's black and white, is going to contrast against the background. So that's all that is with contrast. And doing the such things, it adds depth and dynamism to your layouts. The third is negative space. Now, negative space is just the empty space around the area or between an area. There's also, like, say you take this, but in collage, when you use shapes like any type of shape and you go over, this is called like masking, and say like you put paint all around it, and then you're left with the negative space right here in the middle. That is called masking in collage when we create that type of negative space. The negative space we're talking about today is just the emptiness, So here I have emptiness back here, I have some emptiness through here, emptiness here, and it just means you're not overloading your page with a bunch of items. Even in the background, even like the stamping, you don't want to put that everywhere. You want to still leave some areas that are open, that don't have anything for the eye to kind of have to figure out and look at and decide where to go next. These are spots that are going to give your eye places to just sit and rest and help guide to the next area you want to go to. And the fourth technique is placement. Placement is the use of your objects, figures to guide the viewer's eye, and create movement by creating different planes. And that you could do that by layering up from your background to your mid layer to your foreground layer, like I've done here. There's many types of ways you could do your placements. You could do your placements in your backgrounds, you could do it in your midgrounds, and then you could do placement on your foregrounds as well. And they all work together to create a cohesive look and story to your collage. The fifth one is rhythm. And a rhythm is all about the repetitions of your elements, or the repetitions of lines, repetitions of shape, color, texture. You want to create this type of flow, and the patterns can also help to unify the whole collage and help it bring it all together into one unified, cohesive look. You can also use rhythm to gradually shift. I haven't done it in this one, but you could also use it to shift from big objects to little objects in like a sequence type way. That is also a thing you could do. And then I'm going to show you guys on the back how I've also used all these different techniques, again, to create this collage. So this one has 2 focal points, and then I kind of balanced it out with this big flower. So we have 3 big elements, and then I went ahead, left a bunch of negative spaces. I did some top stamping, some little tickets, just other pieces of torn paper. I have some little stamps here, a little stamp here, hiding in between, behind the picture. Now that happens with placement too, that goes along. You don't have to stick everything on top. You could stick things behind the picture right here to create depth and make it look like it's coming out from behind. Then you can go ahead and add a layer on top of the photo like I've done here. That's going to create some more dimension here. This rose is half tucked behind and laying on top, so that gives some more depth. Here we have some clustered on top and behind. And then the same thing with the stamping on the 4 layers. That is going to help just unify everything together. And the placement you put it to, I like to put it where there's some negative space, but I don't want to take up all the negative space with the stamping. So like right here, I'll have, instead of going this whole layer with the stamp, I did it just on this little portion here. So we have some space in between all this going on for your eye to kind of rest. And I think that's all. I think these are really good examples of how these 5 techniques work together to achieve balance. And on this one, I did for the top layers, I did the same thing with stamping. I did some like little specks. I kind of like the script in certain places. And then I went ahead with the stamp of these little like paint splatters. And then I really wanted to help tie it out, like tie it together in color as well. Red is not necessarily abundant in any of the images that I picked, but it is like here, it is here. And I really just wanted to kind of lift it in the tones of reds and the oranges and the fruits and stuff. So I wanted to kind of lift that tone and use it to kind of highlight certain areas. So when, say you're looking from the bottom, because I usually start from the middle, and then my eye naturally wants to go to the bottom. So I kind of create a path where you go here, and then you come back this way with the script, and then you'll travel up through here. This has some negative space, so you know to go this way. And then once you get here, you can go 2 different ways. You could either go up this way. I have the little image here with the script leading us up towards that way. And then you can go over here and come straight down, or you can go this way and go over and come down. So I really liked how this came out, and I think this was a perfect example of the 5 techniques. And I hope that gave you a really good understanding of what they are. And they're really simple, so let me show you how we can use them to create together, right? Go ahead and grab your compositions from last week. I am using my ice cream page from my Rip Snip Stick in the Kitchen Collage ephemera. The link for that collage book is going to be in the description box below. So I took out a few of those. So I have, here we go, some little cupcake treats. We have the word sweet treat. I took out some black for contrast. I took out some pink for contrast. And I took out another thing of white to kind of tie in to the background, and just some more decorative little pieces. We're going to use these little cupcake pieces to, in the placement of them, to to say where we want our eye to go. All right, so a good way to do this also before you just start gluing down your pages, a little tip is you can go ahead and lay out everything on your page how you think you want it to look. I kind of want this cockeyed, but I want the heart to be straight, and I want this to come across the heart, so I can use that as contrast to go on top of here. And then I can start tucking pieces. There we go. You can tuck them behind, on top, to create different types of dimension here, depth. And if you like the way this looks, go ahead and snap a picture with your phone. That way, if you want it to be exactly how you like it, how you have it laid out, you can just refer back to your picture and you could place it exactly as you had it. Just a little pro tip. So I'm just gonna get my glue now, and we are going to get gluing. So this pink, like I was saying, I used to contrast the background and as a major focal point, which we're going to be going over focal points soon when we go over like the thirds, the rule of thirds and stuff. So I'm just going to glue this down, and I don't want it centered. I want it kind of cockeyed off to the side here, just to create some different interest. Now on top of our focal point, I do love the way this pink contrasts off the white and the brown. It looks very pretty together. And I'm going to glue my heart down. I wanted the white to tie in with the background, help unify. You can leave some of this black showing. And so since we have black in the text, since we have black outline here, I decided to go with this black and gray. And I'm just going to glue that down straight across, I believe. Right there at the top. Make sure I'm not off my page. And then that's going to give our sentiment. You know what? I want to move it up a little bit. There we go. This is going to give our sentiment something to contrast off of as well, so it's not lost in this white. If we just pop it up right here, that creates depth and separation with contrast of the colors. All right. Simple, simple. Now we're going to take, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I like to work in odd numbers. There is a thing in art where if you work in odd numbers for some reason, your eye likes it. It looks better to your eye. It looks more cohesive than using even number objects. So I have my 5 little cutouts here, and I don't remember exactly where I had them. So I'm just going to go place them. But I do want to kind of have them start at the bottom here so that we can go from the bottom maybe. And then we go here. Maybe we go here. And this can tuck under like so. You don't want to put all your objects straight either. You want to kind of have them go in different ways that also create visual interest. And then we want to tuck one back here. So we go, oh, nope. You know what? I wanted to let's put that one back here maybe. These are all kind of similar, so I don't want them too close to each other. So maybe I'll do this one here. That one's really big. We can use that one, the bigger one, for the top. And then we could put this one like here. Or maybe a little bit further. Nope. That's going to work right there. That's not exactly where I wanted it in the beginning. That's why I say take a picture, but I'm using my phone to record, so I can't take a picture of it. Okay, and that one's going that way, so I don't want this one to go the same direction. I'm going to make this one go maybe here this way. Oh, no. There you go, little heart. So we can go boom, boom. And maybe instead of going that side, we go this way. Create some dimension by tucking them in different spots. And maybe that one's standing up straight, and then this one's tucked behind here, kind of off to the page. And then we'll go do, 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 do. I like that. No, I wanted this one straight, huh? There, that's good. That'll work. Trying to let go of my perfection when it comes to collage, or just with anything really. There. I like it cocked to the side that way, or turned to the side. There we go. And we have a sweet little finished layout. I love this. It came out super cute. And later on, if you want to save your layout that you created today, save it for a few lessons from now when we do the mixed media lesson, and then we can come back and add even some more fun top layers. But if you, with like stamping and stuff, but you could also go ahead and just use different types of paper if you would like to add some more, maybe like texture here, because I do have a lot of negative space right here. So, you know what? Would maybe ice cream bar look good? See, play around with it. Play around with it and have fun. And I'd love to see what type of layout you created. If you go onto my channel page and go under community, you'll be able to upload your very own picture and I'll be able to see it and comment on it. And I'd love to just see what you guys create. All right. So let's have a little discussion, okay? Last week on my first video, the composition and balance video, Lori at PewDiePie Designs wrote, I still think your pages are great, whether they are balanced or not. And you know what? I had to agree with her. Not all collages have to be formal. There could be informal collages where you don't follow any of the rules at all. And that is the beautiful thing. You decide, what do you want to make? Do you want to make something that you keep forever and it's a piece of art and a masterpiece, you know, for yourself that you put on your wall? You could attach it to canvas, you could frame it, you could do all sorts of things with your collages. If you're just wanting to have fun and you don't want to frame your stuff, you don't want to necessarily keep it, but you just want to be creative. Glue books, a collage journal. These are fabulous ways to go ahead and practice your creativity without feeling the need for it to be a work of art, a masterpiece to hang on the wall, because not all collages are going to be that. Not all the time are you going to feel like you want to create something that's special. I enjoy doing both types of collage. I have collages that I need to seal up and put on. I want to put them on canvases. So I have them displayed nicely on my wall. But first, I like to go ahead and scan those, and then I can use them as prints also by printing them. And also, I like to scan them and put them on my Ko-fi page so you guys can enjoy them as freebies. And it's just a great way to use your collages other than just having them sit around or sit on a wall, or even your informal collages that you put in a glue book. I have a whole glue book series. It's a playlist, and each month we do a page together just using magazines. And it's really fun, and it's very creative, and it lets you get your juices flowing. And maybe you start off collaging like this as a beginner, and you eventually work your way up to art pieces that you feel proud of to hang up and display for everyone to see. I've been collaging for many, many years, since I was a little girl, and this is how I started off. I started off with just a collage journal. I used to take leaves and flowers from outside and glue them down with papers and rocks and write like little vision boards and such. So there's many ways that you can collage. I just wanted to come on and discuss that with you guys, because I didn't want it to make it feel like this series is the only way you can collage. It's not. But if you like to learn and you like to build your skills and you like to get better and better and better, then I believe this course is a great fit for you, because you can go from doing simple creative collages just to get the juices flowing to mixed media art pieces that you are happy to have displayed on your walls. Both are great, both are awesome, and both are equally valuable. So I just wanted to get that off my chest, I guess, because I wanted to make sure I wasn't coming across as this is the only type, like the more professional looking types of collage is the only types that are worth anything, because that's not true at all. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you for joining me, and I definitely cannot wait until next week. We're going to have another fabulous lesson. I hope you join me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.